take a look at what I call Elon Musk's Project Apollo 2.0, because I believe this is America's secret weapon to beat China in the race to develop a super intelligent AI, a race that has been called the most high-stakes race in all human history. The bad news is, if we lose this race, it could be the end of the American empire. But the good news is, I believe Elon Musk's secret weapon will help us win this race and make a lot of people wealthy in the process. In fact, if you buy shares of one of his partners in this new project before May 6th, I believe you'll have a chance to make massive gains in 2025 and beyond. As you may know, China recently launched a new AI application called DeepSeek, triggering a crash in shares of many popular AI stocks, including Nvidia. The New York Post published a red alert on its front page and warned the US is falling behind. Ray Dalio, the founder of the world's largest hedge fund, believes this is just the beginning of a massive AI war between the US and China, and the stakes could not be higher. Most folks don't realize this, but if America loses this race, you, me, and millions of Americans will suffer drastic consequences. As I'll explain here today, the outcome of this AI race could affect the value of the US dollars in your bank account, the value of your Social Security check, your ability to pay for even the most basic daily expenses, and your entire way of life. That's why former Secretary of State Condoleezza Rice said, "We simply have to win what's now the most important technological arms race in human history." And that's why billionaire Mark Cuban said, "Our place in the world depends on our ability to invest in AI. We cannot lose that battle, or we lose everything." The good news for America is that Elon Musk is on our team, and he has an ace up his sleeve. For the past few months, he's been developing what he has called the most powerful AI training system in the world. This computer is so powerful that it left the CEO of Nvidia speechless. He said, "It's extraordinary, easily the fastest supercomputer on the planet." Most people don't know about it because it's more than 2,000 miles away from Silicon Valley. It's hidden inside a facility in the middle of an industrial zone of Memphis, right next to a decommissioned coal plant. But soon, I believe the entire world will hear about it because I believe Elon is about to shock the world with this supercomputer, win the AI race for America, and help send shares of one of his partners skyrocketing higher. I call Elon Musk's new venture Project Apollo 2.0 because I believe this AI race will play out just like the 1960s space race. In the late 1950s, the Soviet Union beat us into space with the launch of Sputnik, the first satellite to ever go into orbit. It was a wake-up call for America. President Kennedy responded with Project Apollo, which had a far more ambitious goal, landing men on the moon. That decade alone, the US government invested more than $320 billion in Project Apollo, making sure America was the first nation to plant its flag on the moon, and it helped send a group of stocks exploding higher. I'm talking about companies like GE Aerospace, which worked on propulsion and power systems for the Apollo spacecraft. Shares more than doubled in the mid-1960s. Shares of 3M, which was a big supplier to NASA, also more than doubled. Raytheon, the company behind the Apollo guidance computer, jumped even higher. Boeing, the builder of Apollo's rockets, jumped 481%. Motorola, the supplier of communication equipment to Apollo, jumped 543%. And shares of Hewlett-Packard, which provided medical equipment to monitor the astronauts, skyrocketed 618% during the space race. Now, I'm telling you this because I believe history is about to repeat itself. Just like the Soviets triggered the space race with Sputnik, China just kicked off a massive AI race with DeepSeek. That's why legendary venture capitalist Mark Andreessen, who's an advisor to President Trump, said, "DeepSeek is AI's Sputnik moment." David Sachs, President Trump's AI and crypto czar, said, "The Chinese companies are hot on our heels. They're catching up very, very fast. We cannot be complacent." And listen to what President Trump said.
"The release of DeepSeek AI from a Chinese company should be a wake-up call for our industries that we need to be laser focused on competing to win."
Remember, Sputnik was a wake-up call that triggered a massive boom in space-related stocks. I believe the DeepSeek wake-up call will do the same for certain AI stocks. But the gains this time around could be much, much higher than anything we saw in the 1960s. Because the stakes here are also much, much higher. This is the race to the next generation of AI. A super intelligent AI that could power all sorts of autonomous robots, discover the cure for many deadly diseases, find new unlimited clean sources of energy, supercharge the economy, power new autonomous weapons for the military, and make other scientific discoveries that humans could never make on their own. I have no doubt that whoever wins this race will become the superpower of the 21st century. I believe Elon Musk will help America win this race, and you could also be a big winner. Because I found a company that has partnered with Elon in this Apollo 2.0 project. And if you buy shares before May 6th, I believe you could walk away with massive gains. You see, this company has not only partnered with Elon, but it is also providing round-the-clock support to this new supercomputer. And this isn't some risky startup that some high school kid just started from a garage. This company has already worked with Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Dell, and Samsung, just to mention a few. It even built what used to be the most powerful computer in the world, a computer that secured the US stockpile of nuclear weapons. So if there's a company that knows more about compute power than any other company in the world, if there's a company that has the expertise to help Elon develop a super intelligent AI, this is it. And no, I'm not talking about Nvidia this time. I'm talking about a company that's more than 15 times smaller than Nvidia. That means there's a lot of upside potential. Look, in the last 5 years alone, shares of Nvidia have skyrocketed almost 2,000%. I think it's too late for you to make massive gains from that stock. The stock has already gone up way too much. But if you missed out on those massive gains, this little-known Elon Musk partner could become your second chance. So in just a moment, I'll give you all the details on this company and explain why I believe this is the #1 opportunity to profit from Elon's new supercomputer. I'll tell you about an event that's scheduled for May 6th and explain why I could send shares soaring. I'll also tell you about a couple of other explosive opportunities I'm tracking. Like I mentioned before, America cannot afford to lose this race. That's why I believe we're about to see a massive partnership between the US government and the private sector that could shower the AI industry with trillions of dollars in new investments. In fact, it's already started. President Trump recently announced what he called the largest AI infrastructure project in history. It's a new $500 billion project to build 20 new AI data centers to host these types of supercomputers. The good news is, I found a company that has a direct stake in this new project. And what's really exciting is that this company is working on a new AI technology that, according to the CEO of Nvidia, will be a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. So in just a moment, I'll give you all the details on this new tech as well, and show you how you could potentially profit from this new Trump project. I'll also tell you about another exciting partnership between the public and private sectors. I'm talking about Elon Musk's space exploration company, SpaceX. Even though it's a private company, I have found a way for you to indirectly claim a stake in SpaceX. And no, you do not have to be an accredited investor. You don't have to be a wealthy insider. And you certainly do not have to have contacts in Silicon Valley. Over the last decade, SpaceX's private investors had a chance to turn $1,000 into almost $30,000. But I believe the biggest gains are yet to come, because I predict SpaceX will continue to dominate. So in just a moment, I'll also show you how you could partner with Elon on a piece of his rocket company as he launches a new age of space exploration in America. That's all coming up in just a moment. But before I get to all these explosive opportunities, let me first introduce myself. My name is Eric Fry. I spent the last 30 years working in Silicon Valley and Wall Street as a broker, entrepreneur, analyst, and hedge fund manager. A few years ago, I entered an investment competition against 650 of Wall Street's biggest names, including hedge fund legends and billionaires like David Einhorn and Bill Ackman. Now, I'm sure most people thought I had no chance, but with an average annualized return of 140%, I ended up beating all those legends and winning the whole thing. They even gave me the title of America's top trader. Over the past couple of decades, I've also been able to see big trends before the masses. For example, back in the year 2000, I warned everyone that the dot-com bubble was about to burst. Those who listened to me avoided the bloodbath when the NASDAQ plunged 78%, and many tech stocks went bankrupt. I made a similar call in 2005, when I noticed another bubble, this time in the housing market. I even went on CNBC to get the word out to as many folks as possible. And by doing so, I helped thousands of Americans dodge that financial disaster when the housing market completely collapsed 2 years later. In recent years, I've not only helped folks avoid big losses, but I've also given them multiple opportunities to make huge gains from major technology trends. For example, Back in 2015, when most people thought Bitcoin was just some sort of magic internet money, I recommended it to my readers, giving them a chance to turn $1,000 into more than $500,000 at the recent peak. And that's not all. Take a look at all these gains. Most people go their entire lives and never find an investment that returns 1,000% or more. But I've done it not just once or twice. I've done it 41 times. That's right, my readers had 41 different chances to make at least 10 times their money. I'm talking about opportunities to turn $1,000 into as much as $17,000 in Valero Energy, $60,000 in Westpac Banking, or even $113,000 in Miner International, just to name a few examples. And I'm here today because I've found what could be my next big winner. I predict Elon Musk will win this AI race for America, giving you a unique opportunity to turn a small stake into real wealth. But that might only be possible if you act before May 6th. I'll explain exactly what's happening on that day in just a minute. But first, I want to give you some context because most people don't understand what's happening. Back in 2017, Russian President Vladimir Putin said, "Whoever leads in AI will rule the world." I think he's right. Simply put, the outcome of this race will determine the fate of the American empire, and it could completely change your life. Like I mentioned earlier, it could affect the value of your Social Security checks, your ability to pay for even the most basic expenses like housing and food, and it could turn your entire way of life upside down. Now, I know it sounds a bit dramatic, but let me explain, and I promise everything will make sense. You see, from 2003 to 2007, the US led the world in 60 out of 64 critical technologies. But something has changed in recent years. From 2019 to 2023, China took the lead in 57 out of 64 technologies. That means the US now leads in only 7. We've been losing ground to China very fast. America is still a leader in AI, but that's also changing very quickly. Back in 2020, China announced an official government plan to make their nation the world's dominant AI player by 2030. They've been investing heavily in AI and doing whatever they can to beat America. Please understand, China is determined, and they will do everything they can to win this race. There's even evidence that they've been stealing our technology. As a result, China is catching up very, very fast. In 2023, Chinese AI models were more than a year behind ours. But this is no longer the case. We were caught flat-footed when DeepSeek, a Chinese company nobody had ever heard of before, released a new AI model that's as good as ChatGPT. As the former CEO of Google, Eric Schmidt, says, China and the US are neck and neck. Our technological edge is not guaranteed. Make no mistake, America and China are now locked in a no-holds-barred battle for AI supremacy. If China wins, it could be the end of the American empire. That means it could be the end of the US dollar as the world's reserve currency, leading to massive devaluation and the loss of purchasing power for your money. Look, I know that AI seems totally unrelated to the power of the US dollar, but the reality is, if you want to have the strongest and most important country in the world, you must have 2 things. Number 1, the strongest and most vibrant economy. And number 2, the most powerful military. And there's only one thing that gives you both of those things: technological supremacy. That's why, throughout history, technology has always played a key role in determining which nation dominates the world and issues the world's reserve currency. For example, back in the 16th century, Spain became a global superpower because of innovative technologies like ships, compasses, astrolabes, quadrants, and maps. That's what allowed the Spanish Empire to expand across the Atlantic Ocean. For that reason, the Spanish silver dollar became the first true global reserve currency from the 16th to the 19th centuries. In the late 18th century, the center of power began to change when Britain kicked off the Industrial Revolution. With innovations like the steam engine and the telegraph, Britain became the world's leading industrial power, dominating global trade, finance, and manufacturing. As a result, the British pound displaced the Spanish currency and became the new world reserve currency of the 19th century. Of course, we all know that in the early 20th century, America began to rise as the new superpower. With the creation of the electrical grid, we saw nationwide access to electricity in America for the first time ever, leading to major tech innovations like radios, refrigerators, and washing machines. As a result, America entered an incredible age of prosperity in what we now know as the Roaring '20s. And then, During World War II, America developed a new technology so powerful that it changed the entire geopolitical landscape, the atomic bomb. It helped America officially displace Britain as the #1 military and economic superpower of the world, turning the US dollar into the world's #1 reserve currency. So you can see why the AI race between America and China is so important. Simply put, the winner of this race will determine who will be the leader of the world in the 21st century. Think about it. The AI leader will have the strongest military because AI will be used in intelligence gathering, cybersecurity, and new autonomous weapons like drones and robots. The AI leader will also have the strongest economy because AI will trigger a new industrial revolution that will unleash trillions of dollars in new wealth. PricewaterhouseCoopers estimates an impact of almost $16 trillion by 2030. President Trump understands that we cannot let China control AI, which is why he recently announced he wants to make America the AI capital of the world. That means that right now, Elon Musk, big tech, and the US government are in full alignment. They all understand we must win this race, which is why I believe we're about to see a giant public-private partnership that will ultimately invest trillions of dollars to make sure America wins this war. And I recorded this video because whenever you can find that kind of partnership, you can walk away with massive gains. For example, like I mentioned earlier, the partnership between NASA and private companies during the space race of the 1960s led to big gains of 481% in Boeing, the builder of Apollo's rockets, 543% in Motorola, the supplier of communication equipment, and 618% in Hewlett-Packard, a supplier of medical equipment to the space missions. If we fast forward to the present, Amazon is another great example of this kind of partnership. Its cloud computing division, Amazon Web Services, or AWS, has formed many partnerships with the US government. It provides cloud storage and computing power to agencies like the US Department of Defense, the CIA, the US Department of Health and Human Services, and the US Department of Homeland Security, just to name a few. These contracts have helped AWS scale rapidly, and now this cloud computing division generates 74% of Amazon's profits. And it's a big reason why shares of Amazon have skyrocketed. If you'd invested $1,000 when Amazon launched that cloud service in 2006, it would have grown to $130,000 today. Tesla is another great example of this kind of private-public partnership. It was a big beneficiary of the US government's support for electric cars. Tax incentives, grants, and low-interest loans significantly helped Tesla's growth. Anyone who invested in the IPO in 2010 would have watched their shares explode high enough to turn $1,000 into more than $360,000 today. If you missed out on these massive gains from Tesla, I believe Elon Musk is now creating a second chance with this supercomputer that could help all America win the AI race once and for all. Like I mentioned earlier, I found a company that has just partnered with Elon in this exciting new project. And my research shows you'll just need to buy shares before May 6th if you want a chance to see explosive gains. Now, maybe you think it's already too late to profit from this AI boom. And I can't blame you for thinking that. We've already seen massive gains from companies like Nvidia. But I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Because I believe we're about to see the biggest public-private partnership ever. This is a race to develop the next generation of AI. A super intelligent AI that can think like a human. I have no doubt this will be the biggest technology of this century, and I believe it'll trigger a new wave of massive AI gains, starting with this Elon Musk partner I want to tell you about today. You see, the reality is today's AI is equivalent to dial-up internet. If you're old enough, I'm sure you remember the sounds of that rudimentary internet. It took hours to download even the smallest file. That dial-up internet was just the first step toward the broadband internet we all use today. I believe it's the same thing with today's AI. It's just the first step toward truly transformational AI. And you need to understand that because it will have implications for the entire stock market. Just look what happened in the early days of the internet. The biggest gains came from the companies that were setting up infrastructure because the internet wasn't good enough yet to power new services. So look at the Wi-Fi router maker Cisco, for example. It was the main company behind setting up critical infrastructure for the internet. Cisco was the Nvidia of the internet. And that's why shares skyrocketed high enough to turn $1,000 into more than $940,000 in the 1990s alone. So imagine, it's early 2000 and you missed out on the big gains from Cisco. Had you told yourself it was too late to profit from the internet, you'd have missed out on the true revolution that began once the internet was fully developed, when broadband internet replaced the archaic dial-up internet. Companies were now free to leverage the power of the internet to innovate. For example, it would have been impossible to launch a streaming service like Netflix with the old dial-up internet. But once the internet was fully developed, Netflix launched its streaming service in 2007, and shares took off for unbelievable gains. Had you invested $1,000 in Netflix, you could have walked away with more than $215,000 today. Amazon also took advantage of the broadband internet to expand its business well beyond just selling books. It went on to dominate e-commerce, sending its shares exploding higher. Had you invested $1,000 in Amazon in 2003, it would have grown to almost $250,000 today. Facebook took advantage of the broadband internet to dominate social media, sending its shares skyrocketing more than 3,000% since 2012. Intuit leveraged the new, more advanced internet to popularize its online tax preparation service, and its shares took off for gains as high as 3,949% since 2004. Uber took advantage of the fully developed internet to revolutionize transportation, and private investors had a chance to turn $1,000 into more than $1.5 million. Airbnb took advantage of the fully developed internet to revolutionize the hospitality industry, giving its private investors a chance to turn $1,000 into more than $1.4 million. As you can see, the list goes on and on. But I think you get my point. Just like the internet revolution did not happen with the dial-up internet, the AI revolution did not happen with ChatGPT. The true AI revolution has not even started. In fact, in just a few years, I believe we'll be making fun of ChatGPT, just like we made fun of dial-up internet. The real AI revolution will happen with the next generation of AI. And I believe Elon Musk's supercomputer will help us get there. Today, you have a chance to invest in a company behind this project. I'm talking about a super intelligent AI that will be able to understand, learn, and apply knowledge across a wide range of tasks, much like we humans do, but with even more intelligence. Imagine how many new scientific discoveries we'll make when we have a super intelligent AI that can autonomously generate hypotheses, run simulations, and design experiments all on its own. It will be the golden age of scientific, technological, and industrial innovation. Imagine an AI that can diagnose diseases earlier and more accurately than any doctor could, or that can power robots to perform complex surgeries with higher precision than even the best surgeon on the planet. I'm talking about a super intelligent AI that can help us find the cure for many diseases, even cancer. Imagine an AI that could give us clean, unlimited energy. Now, humans have been trying to develop fusion energy for decades without any success. In case you don't know, fusion energy is the process that powers the sun and other stars, and it could be a source of unlimited clean energy, better than nuclear, natural gas, or fossil fuels, or anything else we've discovered. The problem is, we're just not smart enough to figure this out yet. But AI could help us get there. The opportunities are truly limitless. That's why the CEO of Nvidia said, this new AI industrial revolution will be as transformative and incomprehensible to many as the electricity revolution was. And this isn't something that's many years away. Elon Musk predicted new AI models will surpass human intelligence by the end of this year. Now, as you can imagine, for us to get to that next level of AI, we're going to need a lot of computational power. And that's where Elon Musk's new supercomputer comes in. Again, from the CEO of Nvidia, it's easily the fastest supercomputer on the planet. And I found a company behind this project. Like I mentioned earlier, this is the same company that helped build what used to be the world's most powerful computer. A supercomputer that secured the US stockpile of nuclear weapons and performed other classified tasks related to national security. And here's what's really shocking. Elon is still upgrading his computer. And when all is said and done, this could be 300 times more powerful than the computer that was protecting our nuclear weapons. That's a big reason why I believe investing in this supercomputer partner is a tremendous opportunity. Now, Elon's new computer is owned by his firm xAI, which is a private company. So there's no easy way to invest directly in this company. But I found a public company that has partnered with Elon for this specific project. And remember, I'm talking about a company that's only 1/15 the size of Nvidia. That means there's a lot of upside potential, so I highly recommend you buy shares before May 6th. That's when this company is hosting a conference call with Wall Street analysts, where I believe they'll give an update on this Elon Musk project and the next generation of AI. And it could trigger a massive boom in its shares. I put all the details inside a special report called Winning the AI Race for America, the company behind Elon Musk's supercomputer. Inside, you'll find the name, ticker symbol, and my full analysis. I'll show you how to claim this report in just a minute. But first, I promised I'd tell you about another great Elon Musk opportunity. It's a company that's already benefiting from a public-private partnership. Of course, I'm talking about his space exploration company, SpaceX. I want to show you how you can indirectly claim a stake in SpaceX, which I believe will be Elon Musk's next trillion-dollar company. You see, thanks to its collaborations with NASA, SpaceX has seen rapid growth and has become America's #1 space exploration company. So the future is very bright. Elon is already planning his first uncrewed Starship missions to Mars in 2026. If everything goes according to plan, he's targeting crewed missions to Mars by 2030. Think about that. In just 5 years, we could be sending humans to Mars. And that's not even the big opportunity with SpaceX. The more immediate opportunity is Starlink, SpaceX's broadband satellite network. By inventing reusable rockets, Elon Musk was able to greatly cut the cost of launching satellites into orbit. For that reason, SpaceX already has 7,000 satellites in orbit providing internet services from space. And it's adding about 60 new satellites per week. Starlink is already available in 114 countries. But with all these new weekly satellites going into orbit, I believe it'll soon be able to provide high-quality internet service in every single corner of the planet. And here's the thing. Right now, Starlink only has 5 million users, but there are more than 5.5 billion internet users worldwide. That's a lot of potential for growth. So if you claim a stake in SpaceX today, you could be getting in on the ground floor of what could be a new internet giant. I've already heard many stories of people who switched to Starlink and said they would never go back to their old internet provider. Last year alone, Starlink doubled its customer base. And with all these additional satellites going into orbit, I predict its service will just keep getting better and cheaper, and it will eventually gain market share from the old entrenched internet providers. In fact, I believe this could become the next giant subscription service in America, leading to massive gains in shares of SpaceX. Just look at what happened with other popular subscription services. For example, shares of Charter Communications, the largest cable operator in the United States by subscribers, jumped as high as 2,396%. After Amazon introduced retail subscription services for Prime in 2005, shares jumped as high as 10,781%. And like I showed earlier, shares of Netflix have jumped more than 21,000%. These types of stocks can deliver big gains because when you have millions of folks subscribing to a service, it's virtually guaranteed monthly income for that company. It's a great business model. Now, here's the problem for everyday investors. SpaceX is a private company. Until recently, you had to be rich and have a direct connection to Elon Musk to get in. But now, I found a way for you to claim a stake in SpaceX without having to be rich, without having to be an accredited investor, and without needing any type of connection to Silicon Valley. I put all the details inside another special report called How to Become Elon Musk's Partner in SpaceX. Inside, I'll provide all the details and walk you step by step through this incredible opportunity. I'll show you how to claim this report in just a minute. But first, I want to tell you about another special report I'd like to give you access to today. It's called The Next Trillion-Dollar AI Opportunity, How Agents Will Change Everything. Like I mentioned before, President Trump is serious about making America the leader in AI. On his second day in office, he announced a brand new $500 billion AI project that could also help America win this AI race against China. And I found a company that's playing a key role in that new infrastructure project. What's really exciting is that this company is also a leader in what could be the next big thing in AI, something called AI agents. Now think of AI agents as very smart professional assistants that can perform different tasks autonomously. For example, soon I believe you'll be able to ask one of these AI agents to book a flight for you, and it will do it without your help. It will check your calendar, review different flight options, prices, etc., and book it for you. As Forbes says, the world of consumer technology is on the brink of a transformative shift. AI agents are set to swarm consumers. Agents are the future of AI. Research firm McKinsey says Agents are the next frontier of generative AI. And Bill Gates says, agents will be able to help with virtually any activity in any area of life. The ramifications for the software business and for society will be profound. The CEO of Nvidia predicted this will be a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. And I found an exciting company that I believe will play a key role in this space. I put all the details inside another special report called The Next Trillion-Dollar AI Opportunity, How Agents Will Change Everything. Inside, you'll discover the name, ticker symbol, and my full analysis on this groundbreaking company. So how can you claim these 3 reports? Well, I'd like to give you immediate access to all of them, totally free of charge. All I ask in return is that you try a no-risk trial subscription to my monthly investment newsletter called Fry's Investment Report. Every month, in Fry's Investment Report, I'll show you the new tech breakthroughs sweeping our world, including AI. But it's not just technology. We go well beyond tech trends because I look for the best opportunities in the market wherever they may be. On Wall Street, this is called a global macro strategy. And it simply means I look for big picture trends that drive huge multi-year moves in entire sectors of the market. So my team and I are constantly analyzing disruptive technologies in the context of business cycles, stock market trends, geopolitical events, and other major factors in order to pinpoint stocks with exceptional potential. And on average, in each issue of Fry's Investment Report, we include our number 1 recommendation for that month. It's easy to read with clear and straightforward analysis. And all you need to do is decide if you want to participate in the plays I highlight each month. Thanks to this global macro approach, I found a total of 41 opportunities that could have 10x your money. I've also managed to uncover another 19 investments that have shot up at least 500% each. Like Shandong Power, up nearly 700%. Tata Communications, up nearly 800%. And Tech Corp, up more than 900%. I challenge you to find a research advisory with a better track record. So here's the good news for you. Today, I'm inviting you to try my research totally risk-free at a huge discount to the normal price. Before we get to those details, though, there's another special report I'd like to give you today. You see, big tech will also participate in this AI race, because if America loses to China, then they'll lose as well. That's why Meta, Microsoft, Amazon, and Alphabet are all planning to invest a combined $325 billion this year in AI data centers. So what if you could find a company that's on the receiving end of some of those billions? That's exactly the opportunity I want to tell you about. All these data centers require a very specific type of cable in order to run artificial intelligence models. Without this cable, it would not be possible to run AI. So I'm recommending you buy shares of a company that's a leading provider of this cable. Think about this. We're about to see unprecedented levels of investment in AI data centers, and this company is selling something all these data centers need. So you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that shares are likely to skyrocket in the coming months and years, which is why I also want to give you access to this report called The Number 1 Stock for the Coming AI Data Center Boom. You can access this report along with the 3 previous reports free of charge. All you need to do is take a risk-free trial to Fry's Investment Report. So here's a recap of everything you'll receive. Our next 12 monthly issues of Fry's Investment Report and all my recommendations, about 1 a month. You'll receive bonus report number 1, Winning the AI Race for America, the company behind Elon Musk's supercomputer. Bonus report number 2, How to Become Elon Musk's Partner in SpaceX. Bonus report number 3, The Next Trillion-Dollar AI Opportunity, How AI Agents Will Change Everything. And bonus report number 4, The Number 1 Stock for the Coming AI Data Center Boom. You'll also get full access to my online archives at our members-only website. That includes not just past monthly issues, but also all my past research reports, plus a regularly updated look at our model portfolio, weekly updates, and the Fry's Investment Report Owner's Manual, which will help you get started even if you're new to the investment world. So here's the deal. I've negotiated a huge discount with my publisher. Click the button on your screen to get all the details on this offer on the next page. I bet you'll be pleasantly surprised. In fact, when you click on the button and see the details on this offer, you might wonder, why is this so affordable? It's simple. First, you probably don't know me yet, so I understand I need to earn your trust first. That's why I negotiated with my publisher to keep the price as low as possible, a price that barely covers the cost of keeping this page online. I didn't want price to be an issue for you. There's a second, more important reason. For the past few years, I've become increasingly frustrated watching the endless debates about the huge and growing wealth gap in America. And with AI now going mainstream, I believe this wealth gap will become 1,000 times worse. Millions of Americans are about to fall into hard times, while a fraction of people are set to ascend to new levels of wealth. I'm confident my research can arm you with the information you need to land on the right side of the wealth gap. That is my bigger mission here. So click on the button on your screen to get started. Clicking that button will not obligate you to anything. It will simply take you to a secure order form where you can review one more time the details of this offer. Remember, I'm not asking you to make any long-term commitment. This is just a risk-free trial. And when I say risk-free, I mean it. You can take the next 90 days to test, drive Fry's investment report and see how you like it at absolutely no risk to you. That's right. If you're not happy with your subscription for any reason, simply let us know during the next 90 days and you'll receive a full refund of every penny you paid. And as long as you print or save my research, you'll be able to keep all the special reports as my gift to you. Like I said, there's no risk to you. I'm only able to offer this guarantee because I'm confident that once you read my research, you'll want to stick around. Just remember that all investments carry risk. You should never risk more than what you're willing to lose. So go ahead and click the button on your screen to get started because like I showed you today, we have no time to waste. If you wait until after May 6th, it could be too late. AI is being adopted faster than any other technology we've ever seen. And that means each day you wait, you could already be leaving money on the table. Each day you wait, you're essentially gambling with your financial future. AI will disrupt everything. Some people will come out of this revolution wealthier than they ever thought possible, while others will lose their job and end up depending on government handouts. I created this presentation to help you land on the right side of this wealth gap. But you must act now. I'm sure you'll make the right decision for you and your family. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to welcoming you to Fry's Investment Report.